Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Let's Chat MetaPWR. We have a dynamic duo. Let me introduce you to Cathy and Dave Carlson. They've shared with me they've been married for 31 years and have 3 adult children. You also shared with me that you're in your 50s, but you feel like you're in your 20s again. Now, this is going to prick up everyone's ears. We all want a bit of that energy and enthusiasm. So, Dave, as well as being able to run up and down the stairs, getting rid of that getting old feeling. And Cathy, you shared that MetaPWR has helped with your mental health as well as perimenopause symptoms and your weight. So let's dive into all that. Can you start with sharing with us why you decided to give MetaPWR a go?
Oh, because it's a doTERRA product.
I was going to say that too. 100%.
The science is there. They would never, ever release anything that isn't amazing. So we just totally believe in the doTERRA brand.
Yeah, and a different word to amazing would be what? Like
that it works.
That it works and that it's worthwhile and that it's ethical. It's not just a product that they put out to get sales. Everything is going to be there for a reason, and it's going to be 100%. Yeah. Quality, trusted brand.
Yeah, you're right. And what was life like for you before you started on MetaPWR? Perhaps you can paint us a picture there.
Oh, for me, the sad moment where I felt like I'm 50 now, I'm never going to feel any better than what I do now. I feel worse now than I did even 3 years ago, and I'm going to continue to have less energy, more pain in joints, particularly in knees, and that resigning myself to that. And instead of thinking of that could ever change, but really working on resigning myself to that and being happy with my life as I became an older and an older man. That's what life was like before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, I think it's so weird because we've always been really positive, excited people. Yeah, would you say that?
Yeah.
So you were in a place where you were like, okay, this is it. I'll find things to be happy about. And so for me, I was am perimenopausal. I was actually, like, looking back now, I'm like, oh my God, I was actually depressed. Like, I was absolutely in a depression. I'd put on like about 20 kilos and I was feeling very ordinary and worse than that, which was I was really having a hard time with, because like I said, like I've always been up, and that hormonal bam, like it hit me so fast, felt like overnight I just didn't feel like myself.
And did that make you retreat, Cathy? Because you are visually uplifting and energizing. So did it affect you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The other thing is too was all the craziness with COVID, and then we were locked. So I was doing things online, and it was from here up, and it was for 30 minutes or 60 minutes at a time, and I was great. But then I would go and sit on the couch. I just wasn't myself at all. And then the weight gain, I feel because we were all locked up for a while, I was just in denial about that. And we were living in trackies and stuff anyway. And then I saw photos of myself and all my clothes were tight. It was just like it wasn't good. Wasn't good at all.
I remember chocolate bars were 2 for 1.
Listen, I'm always a chocolate bar girl. Like Tim Tams, like I joke about, I've always had an some people have an emotional support dog. I had an emotional support family block of Cadbury in the fridge at all times.
So talk us through when you got started with MetaPWR. How soon did you start to notice changes? What things did you notice?
Oh, look, for me, honestly, the first day I took it, that afternoon, I felt like I came up from underwater. So for me, it was like I felt I could take a breath. So mental health wise for me, absolutely. And then over that next month, like I feel like myself again. It was just incredible for me how fast it was. It took me out of that funk that I was in.
And for me, it was, I would probably say 3 days. And I'm sure that I was starting to feel it, but I'm probably a little bit more reserved and a little more skeptical, but in a good way. So what actually is happening to me instead of just trying to...
Instead of like me, and I'm like, oh, yes, yeah. I can feel it. You were like, hang on a minute.
And so after that third day, I just started to feel more energy, less drowsy, less needing of a nap every afternoon.
Right.
But also, we were talking just before we started about how we used to run a performance academy. And one of the things that I used to teach my drama students, that before we do any kind of performance or presentation, we're going to build a sense of excitement and presence and liveliness in ourselves to go and present to an audience. That's the feeling that I get when I take MetaPWR. And it's within minutes that I take that and I feel a vibrancy when I take that. And I know that I was talking to Adam Barrelay about this at the last doTERRA event that we attended. And I'm sure you all know who amazing, wonderful Adam Barrelay is. And he said once that he took his regular in the morning and then he did another video for Instagram showing how, and so he ended up having 2 within an hour or something. And he said, "Oh my God, I felt like I took something illegal. I just had so much energy and I was buzzing." And so I can totally see that too. Yeah, that it gives you that race. But for me, the massive change and something that I probably talk about the most is with the collagen in the advantage. It was after 2.5 to 3 months, the pain in my knees has disappeared. Came down to a level that wasn't holding me back anymore. Okay. After 6 months of it, the pain in my knees is gone. And this has been something for me that is debilitating. And I went to Pilates classes with Cathy where I talked to the instructors about how I could rebuild strength around my knees and have muscle support those, which is their instant, diagnosis for me was that I needed more muscle around my knee to support that joint. But I couldn't even lie on my back in a tabletop position as like where you're in a seated position, but you're lying on your back. I couldn't hold my knees there. It was too painful. And as the collagen is rebuilding the cartilage in my knees, okay, because we know there's 9 different types of collagen in that advantage, amongst other things. But this is the building blocks for our body to grow new cartilage. Now, I was right in the sweet spot for somebody who that's going to work for, obviously, because I know that there's people obviously with real knee damage and knee injury, etc. And there's people who are not as bad as me. But for me, I just feel like I was in that sweet spot of you are in the position where this is going to work for you. Looking back on it, and once it worked, I then obviously done really deep study into the different types of collagen and how it works. And so now I always reckon that when you hop up out of your car, how much noise do you make when you open the door and you get to the set? Do you go, "Oh," when you're climbing up out of the car? Now, like leap out of the car. And literally, we have Instagram. And so one of the funny things that we do is I run up and down stairs when we get to a set of stairs, Cathy will film me and I'm running up and down the stairs. That's real. I will take those stairs by choice instead of the escalator because I'm just overjoyed, man. I'm so excited that I feel like, so that's where now those 2 things are where now I don't feel like I'm getting older anymore. I'm reversing that and I'm not resigned to me being an old man. Now, if I'm going here, I can actually run and jog. We need to get from here to there. If I forget something in the car, I run back through the car park to the car, jog back, get it. Whereas that was no way, not a thing before. So that level of life is back. I've got that life back. That's where I am now.
Exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. And then haven't even talked about the nicotinamide mononucleotide, the NMN, and the energy that's bringing. Oh my God. Yeah.
So good.
Magnificent. So for you, Dave, it's been a physical noticeable difference. And then Cathy, it's more the mental wellness.
Yeah, look, that's it. And for me, that weight gain was a big thing for me and really did affect me badly. And every time I looked in the mirror, I would just be hating on myself. I don't know if anybody else relates to that, but we should talk to ourselves as if we're talking to someone that we love, not talk to ourselves as if you're talking to someone you can't stand. And I wouldn't even I don't really have enemies, I don't think, but I wouldn't talk to anybody like that or the way that I was speaking to myself about my body.
Right.
It's just, I was disgusted really in how I looked. And honestly, as soon as I started taking the MetaPWR, came up for that breath. And then I feel like the way I looked at myself changed as well. So look, that was for a few months and I just was happy again, which was great, and didn't really even try to lose any weight. And I didn't lose any weight. I probably was steadily still putting it back on because I didn't make any other lifestyle changes, but just in myself, I was feeling like me again. And then suddenly I was like, oh, and to be honest, I didn't take the assist straight away. And so now,
common story, right?
I read that in the MetaPWR group that you run, Anna, and somebody had put, I don't know if I'll take them or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, no, you have to. Because when I did start taking them and do you know what? Part of that was really because I was in the place where I liked myself again. So then I felt like I was worthy. Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't want to waste them on myself. Isn't that awful? And then I was, from taking the collagen, I was in that place of that I started to love myself again. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to do this. And then I was in a place to, okay, I'm going to look at my, eating choices. I started doing keto, which I'd done before and had worked for me. And I quite like that way to eat. And it was just good. And I could stay on it. And here's the really good thing is that life, like I just was saying to you, we've been away for the last 3 weeks. So that's hard for me to stay on keto during that time because we're also vegetarian. So it makes it a little bit harder. But so I just ate, I didn't stick on my keto. A couple of things. The first thing, I didn't spiral about it. Do you know what I mean? Usually I would go, oh, it's terrible. And I'd hate on myself again. And I'd be like, okay, I have to wait till next month to start again. Whereas now I'm like, it's okay. And I still made good choices with what I was eating. And I didn't go and we didn't buy Tim Tams. I didn't binge on chocolate. I didn't do any of that. So I haven't. And the other thing that's great is I haven't put on any weight. And then I'm going to say I didn't lose any, but I actually haven't even hopped on the scales, which is also weird for me because I would always, as soon as I get home, I'd get on the scales. But I just know while we were away, I had to buy a pair of pants and I had dropped that other size. So I know that I actually did lose a little bit of weight. I'm just talking so much about weight, but it's such a big thing for me at the moment. So I have lost, must be nearly 10 kilos. So I'm like halfway to what I want to do. And yeah, it's a big thing for women in perimenopause, I think.
Really is.
Yeah.
We were all in on the sachets of the Advantage. The assist we weren't taking for a little while, so we had a stockpile of those bottles, and now we're like power users of that. So we'll take a couple, 2 or 3 each a day.
Yeah.
So on our last order, I added 3 or 4 bottles of the MetaPWR Assist to catch up to make sure that we had enough to keep us, because obviously we're both taking the daily dose plus of the MetaPWR Assist. Don't underestimate, anybody who's watching, don't underestimate that stuff.
So good.
Yeah.
So
Would
good.
you recommend having it with each meal rather than just once a day?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I would too. It's just, honestly, it's changed our whole mindset. And it's not, I don't feel like I'm on a diet. I just feel like I'm just making healthy choices. This is just how I eat now. My body is really responding to that. And I would just never, ever be without the MetaPWR. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for it.
So do you think having it with each meal also takes out the confusion of, oh, I need to know when my biggest carb meal is? And
yeah.
Yeah?
I keep a bottle in my handbag in case we are out and we decide to have something while we're out, and I'll just take one then. I put all of our supplements every week. I put them all in like little containers. So each morning we can just have them. And then, yeah, most of the time at night, one of us will remember and we just do it. I've just been doing research about the assist and with the insulin resistance and what that actually is, because I feel like there's a lot of buzzwords and then you just go, oh, yay, insulin resistance. Oh, yay, glucose spike. Oh, yay. But does anybody actually know what that means? So I've been researching it. And like the insulin resistance is a really big thing. And that the mulberry leaf in that MetaPWR Assist is so great for that. Insulin is like a key that opens up our cell so that then that's where the sugar can go in there and give us energy. But what happens as we get older is that we develop that resistance to the insulin. And so then we end up with too much sugar in our blood. So then we have high blood sugar. And then that's when the fat then our body stores that sugar. And it's not going into our cells. And so then we feel tired and then we don't want to exercise. It's just like boom, and like all our hormones, like it messes all of that up. And that mulberry leaf helps our body take its time to digest those carbohydrates and sugars. And so then I was in Chat GPT and I was like, but what does that mean? So I want to suggest that to anybody. If there's any buzzwords like that and you don't actually understand what it means, don't just go, oh, okay, that sounds good. Go and find out what it means, because I feel like too, with that knowledge and that awareness, I think that then my body works better. You know what I mean? So I'm taking it, I'm going, oh, cool, you ignore those carbs, good job. Like I'm like really excited about what it's doing in my body. And I think that energy and excitement also I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
I don't know if that works. I think it does. A bit woo-woo.
I'm not a big fan of buzzwords either, except if it can attract, those buzzwords can attract people to this incredible product.
Suggestion, Dave, go into Chat GPT, copy out the ingredients off the side of the label and say, tell me what this does. Explain it to me like a 10-year-old. It's the best thing. Explain it to me like I'm 10.
So good.
So good.
Yeah.
That's a great tip. Thank you for explaining, because we can dive into the research like you're saying, but sometimes the wording's overwhelming, or how do you retain it? So thank you. What you've shared is really helpful. Did you start by taking your collagen in the morning or at night?
We do ours in the morning.
That's our habit.
It feels like a nice start to the day for us, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And was it easy for you to commit to that daily, like making that a daily habit?
Yeah.
Beyond a shadow of a doubt. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bottle of cold water in the fridge and the little machine, the little milk frother is the way to do it. Makes it super easy.
Make it easy, quick, just a couple of seconds out of your day.
Yeah.
So I know you're sharing about MetaPWR a lot, and you'd be coming across people who are thinking about it. What sort of advice do you give to that person who's just in that deciding stage?
I'd say buy it, take it, feel it, done.
Like it's a 30-day money back guarantee.
This
like
is a no-brainer. I'm so excited about this. I love peppermint oil. I love peppermint oil. It is my favorite. If I could have one oil, it would be peppermint. And if I could have one doTERRA product only, if I could make that one choice, it would be peppermint. This was it forever. I've got one in my pocket, one in my car, one. Honestly, I can't be without it. Advantage has overtaken that as my favorite product. That is huge. If I could have one product from doTERRA, it's MetaPWR Advantage. That is a massive. This stuff it blows me away.
Yeah.
What it's done for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's given us a lot of energy. And I love at the beginning, you were saying like we feel like we're in our 20s, and absolutely we do. Like we have so much energy, and yeah, it's good. Good life.
And you related it to lifestyle. Like you were saying, it's bringing in intentional eating, sleeping well, healthy relationships. Did you notice all of those different things? You're quite active anyway, but did you notice changes in those areas?
I feel like we've both always been good with sleep. Is that right? I don't think it affected my sleep. I tell you what did though, is that lavender peace stick. And I've never had bad sleep. And then probably a month before lavender peace came out, I started having that
stick. Yeah.
Lavender peace stick came out. I started having that like perimenopausal symptom sometimes is waking up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Yay. So that sort of started happening. And then lavender peace stick, boom, amazing. But with the exercise, we actually weren't we had been such active people our entire life and very fit, and then we just weren't.
My knees were too sore.
But part of the reason too, though, Dave, is because we were doing doTERRA full time, working from home, and then we moved it online during COVID, and so then we just got out of the habit of being that active person. And then I think age as well, definitely hormones for me. So taking MetaPWR definitely, it changed my mindset, and then I was ready to change my eating, and it wasn't a big deal, and then I could just stick with that, honestly. And then the exercise came. And here's what I would like to say to anybody that's listening, that they are on that weight loss journey, is that it doesn't have to be, and I feel like I've got to this because of the MetaPWR, and so this is mental health. The best tool that we have for our weight loss is between our ears, right? So we've got to get our mental health right. And then I don't know where I was going. I've lost it. It doesn't have, this is what I want to say. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. When you're working out your diet, and I hate that word, but your healthy eating plan, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Like I was definitely that person. I'm doing it, and then I would have a little bit of chocolate, and then I would hate myself, and I'd feel like a failure, and then I'd start again. I'd wait till either the Monday or the first of the month, whichever was the furthest away. That's so it doesn't have to be that. Just live life, be happy, be excited, and love yourself. And then you automatically make those better choices.
And do as good as what you're doing. Yeah,
and I feel like too, don't put a date on it. Like I've always been, I want to lose 5 kilos by this date. And then as it's getting closer and you're not going to hit that goal, then I spiral again, go and buy a big packet of Tim Tams and eat them like and then sit on it. Don't do the exercise. Whereas now I know hey, I'm going to do it. I know I'm going to lose that next 10 kilos, and we'll just see when it happens. Like, it's okay. So I'm in a much different place mental health wise.
My answer to that is with that advantage sachet. What I found was profound. And then what I did was escalate that improvement by what that MetaPWR did for me. And I call it a loop. I call it a feedback loop. So obviously I couldn't feel, we know we feel better when we're moving around and when we can walk. I couldn't do any of that. I could, but I could shuffle, get around and take it very easy as I was walking around, or if I was going downstairs to the beach, it was going down one at a time, sideways. And so the MetaPWR allowed me to have my mobility back, which then made the other part of that equation better.
Sure.
And so it feeds on itself, doesn't it? The same way that when we feel bad, it can make you feel worse, and then that can make you feel worser, and then your body feels worse and your mind feels worse, and that spiral can go down. I feel like the MetaPWR allowed me to take the first step to spiral up.
Yeah. Here's what's cool though. Any extra things that you do, and because we heard, was it Dr. Riggs talking about it before it even came to Australia when it was first released in America? And he said, anything extra that you do is multiplied by like 10. Yeah. If you exercise, it's going to be more than just, like it's even better. Yeah, like it, because what you're putting in your body with the MetaPWR collagen, with the assist, your body works better, which is why like perimenopausal symptoms are lessened or go altogether. Like, I don't get hot flushes anymore. I don't have weight gain around I'm so excited because that I looked like I was pregnant, and I'm definitely not, and it's gone. Like my belly's not completely gone, but I don't have that look that you get when you're in perimenopause. I don't have that anymore. It is so awesome.
I feel like it came along, like we always say, oh, we have perfect timing. We're just getting a park or whatever. Well, we had perfect timing in that MetaPWR came into our life, I feel like just at the right point with our age, that we could really see the benefits that were starting to happen with the changes in our body. Yeah, I love it too. It is incredible.
My eyelashes, my hair is growing, like all of that as well. But definitely the weight loss, the perimenopause, and mental health for me.
I just think it's great you're sharing your story and your awareness, because so many people would be suffering similar situations. So for them to hear that this is the positive outcome. I was just going to say, we've talked about the collagen and the capsules. Just before we finish up, talk a bit about the oil blend. Particularly, do you use it in any other ways aside from in your drinking water?
Yeah, I love it. So I was always a fan of Smart and Sassy as well. And I always had that in my water. And then
so for anybody that isn't aware, MetaPWR oil blend is like the evolution of the Smart and Sassy blend, which is the same oils in a different ratio, which makes it 200% better.
Yeah, MetaPWR oil is incredible, and I'm sure you guys have all seen the studies of when they used it on the fat cells, and the fat cells actually shrink. So we don't make more fat cells; they just blow up like a balloon. So MetaPWR oil actually helps to shrink them. You need to get it in you and on you and around you. I've got a little personal diffuser. When I first started, when I wanted to change my eating, I would have that with me, and I'd breathe. If I had a little sweet craving, I would breathe that in and take the beadlets. If I couldn't find my beadlets, I just put it on the back of my hand and lick it. I really love the taste of it. Oh my gosh, you get so much energy when you drink that MetaPWR, the oil. So I love it always. And the other thing that I do is I get a fractionated coconut oil. I use a couple of squirts out of the top of it for something else. And then sometimes I'll just put the whole bottle in of the MetaPWR oil. And then I put wintergreen in there, cypress. I'm just trying to think of what else I put in there, but it's a whole mix. Now, we used to do Smart Sassy, but now I do MetaPWR oil. And then I've got a big roller bottle. You can get them, I think, on Amazon or whatever. And
so it's a big roller bottle, as in think a supermarket roll-on deodorant size, with a big roller.
So I mix it up in my coconut oil bottle. I put yarrow pom in there too, because that's so great for your skin and it helps us to produce more collagen. It's a really pretty color. And then I just pour it into the bigger roller, And then you know what else I put in there is castor oil. I've just started doing that, and it's so good too. And then I keep that in the cupboard, but then use the roller every day. So every day when I get out of the shower, I put it all on the top of my legs, around my belly, in my belly button, and onto my back. I put it on my arms and all over my chest, and rub it in. It's aromatic dressing, I guess, too. So as I'm doing that, I'm giving thanks for everything, loving my body, and it's beautiful on your skin, and it's helping to shrink, because I'm thinking I've got 20 kilos to lose. Then I'm aware, I know it's vain, but then you think about your skin, and I want my skin to tighten up as well. So it's absolutely helping with that as well.
Great tips. Thank you so much. Very motivating. Anyone listening will be going to find those rollers and making that blend. Thank you, Cathy. Any final words before we finish up here?
Yeah, just know that doTERRA's always ahead of the game with their creation of these supplements. And I'll use, for example, the quality of the collagen that we're getting is second to none. And often you'll see other brands of collagen that will promote all of the things that collagen are good for, but they've only got one or two, or usually two or maybe three different types of collagen in there in store-bought or even any other brand. I think there's one very small company that does 9 types of collagen like doTERRA. So virtually no other company touches it. No other company is touching the quality of what doTERRA is doing. So why do we want these 9 different types of collagen? Because they're targeting different areas of our body, from brain health to heart health to the structure of our blood vessels. There's even a collagen in there that supports other collagen. So that nothing else touches this for quality. Nothing else touches it. So I think that's really, just take it and just know that if it has the word doTERRA on the box, you're buying that absolute best. We haven't talked too much about NMN at all, which is basically, again, this is what is going to give you more energy and need less nana or grandpa naps. That's all we need to talk about today. But it all works. This is based on actual science that you can look up for yourself, which I love as well. So it's the real deal. You take it, you feel it, you can know that it's good.
Final words is MetaPWR works, but it doesn't work if you leave it in the bottle or in the packet. So you've got to use it, get into the habit, because you're worth it. Like, you've got to love yourself enough that you will make this a habit and do it every day.
Perfect. That's it. Exactly, Cathy. Both Cathy and Dave Carlson, it's been wonderful to hear your story, and we look forward to seeing what else unfolds for you on this MetaPWR journey. Like you said, Dave, all those collagen strains are affecting each person in a different way. So thank you for sharing your story.
Our pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so lovely to be asked. Thank you.